Now, you touched on this earlier. What are your memories of going over to Japan and wrestling for and against Baba?
Well, I wrestled Baba. Every time I toured Japan, I had to wrestle Baba. Baba, for a tall, big guy that he was, I don't know his exact height. He used to say he was 7 foot tall. I don't know if he was exactly.
Yeah.
But he was very, I'll tell you what, next to me, he looked like he was 7 foot tall. I'm not going to tell you that I had the kind of matches with Baba that I would have had, let's say, with Koloff or with Kowalski or with, because it was different, this is Japan. But I'll have to say that I liked wrestling Shohei Baba. I think for a big man that he was in height and all that, I think that he was a durable guy. I wrestled him an hour-long match, and he was there for the whole hour, boy, no question about it. I knew in my mind that when I go to Japan, that's going to be the matches I'm mostly going to be with Baba. I respected him tremendously. I think he was a great guy. Honestly, I'm being very honest with you. I respected him. I liked him tremendously. But am I going to tell you that I have as good a match with Shohei Baba as I would with Koloff or with Tanaka or with Kowalski or a lot of Jonathan? I don't think I could go that far and say that.
Mm. Now, I saw an interview that you did on Japanese TV during the feud, and it looked like you were almost the heel over there. It looked like that you're cutting. Were you the heel in that series over there, or?
Well, remember this. Baba was huge in Japan.
Yeah.
And they wanted, because of the publicity on me was kind of a popular guy type thing, in order to make I had somebody, one of the promoters, or whatever he was. I never knew who was who in Japan.
Yeah.
But one of these people that was always there, and they told me that, they wanted me to be a little more aggressive with my interviews because, after all, they said that Baba is the hero in Japan.
Mm.
And they wanted me to be a little bit more aggressive in the way I spoke about it. So I did kind of an arrogant interview about that, I'm going to show this guy who's boss more. I don't remember the words.
It was something like that I saw.
I'm just saying something to that effect. Yeah, and I did speak like that. But basically, in the ring, we had the same kind of match. It wasn't that different as far as what I did,
Yeah. Now, once Vince Sr. started to put a deal together with New Japan, what kind of pressures were put on you to do New Japan?
Yeah, that was, and let me make it clear that I did understand McMahon's position. We're talking about McMahon Sr., of course.
Right.
I want people to understand that. I understood his position. He felt that because he was not dealing with that organization, which its head was Antonio Inoki, that I should be involved in that. But I made it clear to McMahon that I had been involved with the other organization, which Baba, which it was the top guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I said that I had given my word to that organization because they wanted me to keep coming for them as time went on. I gave them my word that I absolutely would. I said, so Vince, I said, you made your deal with this other organization way after. I said, I have to keep my word with this organization. Well, and I understand how uncomfortable it made it for him.
Yeah.
Because I think that those promoters, and I don't know what all transpired, how would I know?
Right.
But I think that no question that they probably bothered him about it. They said, Jay, we're doing business with you. You're the promoter, and this guy's coming with our opposition.
Yeah.
And Vince, I have to give credit, even though he talked to me a number of times about it, but he knew very well where I stood, and we never came to bitter fights or anger about it,
Yeah.
I just held my ground, and he understood. I don't know if he understood. Like I said, we didn't fight over it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely wasn't going to switch over. So yeah, it had to be very uncomfortable for him, and I could understand that.
Yeah.
But I like to think of myself as a man of my word too, and I had committed to that organization way before Vince got together with the other organization.
Yeah.
And so that was the story there.
In the 1970s, who did you like to travel with? Who were your favorite traveling partners?
I didn't travel with anybody.
You traveled by yourself?
Are you talking about worldwide or here?
Like when you would be on the road in the area with the WWF.
Oh, it was Arnold Skaaland and
Okay.
I traveled a lot together, yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes Dominic DiNucci or Antonio Pugliese.
Okay. What do you remember about Arnold since he just passed away?
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate and it saddened me, of course. But Arnie and I kind of hit it off good from the very beginning. When I first started, I met Arnie. I met Arnie when I was in Washington when Rudy Miller brought me in. Right around that time, I met Arnold.
Right.
And Arnold was always very nice with me, and he was a very likable guy. And I liked him. Now, a lot of people, the misconception here is that Arnold was my manager. And I think people don't understand that you didn't have a manager. He wasn't the manager in the sense that he took care of any of my business.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was no such a thing as a manager like that. But he was a manager in the sense that he would appear with me in the ring. He'd come to my, walk in the ring with me, and people said it's Bruno's manager, which was great because, I liked Arnold and we got along very, very well. And I think it was good because as he got older, because Arnie was a good wrestler, but as he got older and he wrestled less and less, he had this job of being Bruno's road manager. Now, of course, he didn't travel with me all over.
Right.
Just whether it was for New York, Baltimore, Washington, let's say Boston, Connecticut, New Jersey, those areas. But then when I went outside of those areas, I always went by myself.
Yeah.
I never traveled with anybody. Well, let me take it back. I did travel with Dominic a couple of times to Japan.
Oh, okay.
Because I talked to the promoters that I liked it. The Dominic wanted to go to Japan, and I arranged for him to go. And Dominic was a good friend. We come from the same neck of the wood in the old country. We had a lot in common. It helped the trip, for us to let's talk about the old country or talk about wrestling, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Dominic and I remain very, very good friends to this day. We don't live too far away from each other.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, Dusty Rhodes, in his book, he talks about, he claims he was more popular than you are in New York. And he tells a story in his book that he claims the two of you were at a nightclub after a wrestling match at Madison Square Garden. And he was surrounded by a mob of people and you had nobody around you. They were all flocking to him for autographs.
Well, but he said that, huh?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that because it's kind of ridiculous. Dusty Rhodes, I remember McMahon would bring him in because Eddie Graham or Crockett, whichever territory was in, they would ask if he would use him for a few shows so they could publicize wherever he was working, say he's in New Madison Square Garden. They did that with Flair in the early days. Man, but what the fans didn't know was that Ric Flair was wrestling Pete Sanchez. Nothing against Pete Sanchez, a wonderful fellow, but strictly preliminary. You know what I mean? Because he, with all due respect to Flair, but he didn't mean anything in New York at that time. And so Dusty was okay for a show or two, but he was not a guy that wrestled the territory full time. Frankly, I think he would have had a difficult time because people didn't see him as a, rugged, tough, because he was, what was built like. So for him to say that, I would say that he either had some nice dreams for himself or I don't know what, because that's sheer nonsense.
Yeah. And were you ever at any clubs with him after the shows?
Never hung out with Rhodes, not only in that New York area, but any place else in the country. I never palled out with the guy. Yeah. I saw him at an arena here and there, maybe when he came here for a shot or two, or in Florida, I think I saw him one time. There may have been someplace else, I don't know. But no, I never was out with Dusty Rhodes. Never.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.